Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your monthly predictions reading. We're going to be looking specifically at love today from mid-May to mid-June. So this reading is intended for Scorpio Sun Moon Risings or Scorpio Venuses. If you are not a Scorpio or have strong Scorpio placements and you're cross-watching, checking up on your favorite Scorpio, you're more than welcome to stay. I just need you to know that I'm a very honest reader. So if you hear or see something you do not like, you have been warned. Let's get into it, Scorpio. I'm going to start by pulling oracle cards, okay? And we're going to have a look at what your main themes are when it comes to love for the month ahead. Spirit, what is Scorpio's main themes in love for mid-May to mid-June? Mid-May to mid-June for Scorpio. Oh, hey. Hi. We got some interesting energies. I've got 5 cards. That was not supposed to happen. Back of the deck, we do have Boundless in the reverse. Oh no, Scorpio. I'm sorry, but are you thinking about someone from your past? We have Boundless in the reverse. Straight up, if you're not, ignore this, but I see an energy from your past here coming back into your energy. Whether you actually reach out to them, I doubt it, but they seem to be taking up a lot of your energy. Remember, we're going into Mercury retrograde, and we also have a full moon coming, stirring a lot of feelings, a lot of reflection, a lot of past energy. Don't let that get the best of you is what I want to say, but I'm feeling some energy from your past here. So let me show you all the cards that I have. We have Compassion and Joyful coming out for you first from this beautiful deck. We also have Evolution and Reconnect coming out for you. Let me show you. Reconnect was coming out in the reverse position. So I think for most of you, this is just an energy that you're picking up on from your past. You're not going to actually reconnect with someone from your past. We also have Vivacious here coming out in the upright position. It could be that this past energy is more curious about you than you are of them. That was something that, I was picking up on. Someone may be keeping tabs on you, but let's talk about it when it comes up again, because we have a lot of other positive energy to look at here, a lot of other themes to address in general, not even positive energy, just in general. That compassion and joyful energy, let's talk about that. That feels like a huge theme of you connecting with your own feelings and trying to find mindful moments with those around you. So I want to say there's a feeling here of you experiencing a level up within a relationship here. I'm going to assume that this is especially for those who are already in relationships or dealing with someone, but for others of you, this compassion and joyful energy, it just kind of feels like it's really expanding your ability to love in the month ahead. So if you're single and you're not dealing with anyone, I think that this energy inspires you to kind of get out there again, or connect with someone who's similar to what you're feeling. You may be entertaining new ideas in love that you hadn't considered before, and just kind of coming from a lens of, this feeling is great, how can I get more of it? It feels really strong, like it's kind of sitting in the middle part of your chest, and it's just warming you from the center outwards. And I feel like this is helping you get to this point where you're like, okay, so not only how can I get more of this, but how can I grow this? Because evolution is telling me that you've got your eyes on some sort of growth here in the month ahead, growing something when it comes to your love life. And the goal with evolution isn't to see it get bigger, but you want to see it get better. You want your love life to evolve with this idea of it's going to be better, it's going to get better. That reconnect, you may even be blocking people from your past to give yourself the best chance to evolve and to be joyful and to experience compassion. Some of you may be blasting somebody and then blocking them, but I don't pick up on that energy for all of you. There's like 2 sides to this Scorpio reading. There's the Scorpios that aren't afraid to get heated and yell and get that energy out there. And then there's the Scorpios that are just kind of internally feeling all of this without externalizing any of it. So I want to say that vivacious at the end of your reading. Did I show you that card? I'm just going to show you it one more time. Vivacious at the end of the reading tells me that there's this feeling of confidence and desire in some way. I think of vivacious as like a very confident person, or an energy that really stands out, that gets your attention, whether you're exuding that or whether something is giving you that feeling like, wow, this is hard to ignore. So interesting themes. There seems to be a lot of pulling, like you feeling pulled towards something, and you wanting to also either distance yourself from something in the past, or figure something out about your past. Something from your past is here with that reconnect. I don't think it's essential for your love journey, but it's just a reflection of the fact that, you know, these things echo sometimes. We deal with it. Healing is non-linear. Things pop up, people pop up. We're all connected, I guess. Let me address that past issue. But I want to have a look at first with tarot. In general, what can Scorpio expect in the month ahead when it comes to love, please, Spirit? Wow, that was really quick. Scorpio, you are crazy. I'm sorry, you're not crazy, but that's such a triggering thing to say to a Scorpio, especially coming from a Capricorn. How dare I? Okay, let me show you all these cards. Let me show you all these cards. We have the Chariot reversed. Oh, sweets. You're crazy because I feel like some of you are just, yeah, lying to, what's the word? Faking till you make it. Faking it until you make it. That's what it feels like. You're faking it till you make it. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. We have the Six of Swords with Temperance in the reverse position. We have that Four of Wands as well. So, my days. There is a disturbance to your little honeymoon energy that you have around you. I think that some of you are trying to be compassionate and joyful and evolve and leave behind some of your more volatile, vivacious energies. But I think that this isn't going to be the reality for a lot of you. I'm seeing a lot of triggering. I'm seeing a lot of hesitation, delay, a little bit of fear, a forcing energy of you forcing things to happen, kind of trying to ignore thoughts that you're having, trying to ignore feelings that you're having, because some of you seem to be very unsure about where your love life is headed, the direction. What do I do, left or right? Up or down, in or out? What am I doing? You're either unsure about the person that you're dealing with, or you're unsure about the direction that your love life is headed in general. And this uncertainty is a form of destruction, because it's highlighting through a process of elimination what is no longer serving you, what you need to let go of, and what is unhelpful for you at this time. I'm seeing this as mostly habits, but for some of you, this Tower moment is also going to destruct the foundation of a relationship that you have in your life currently that is impacting your ability to progress things in your romantic life. It feels like there's another relationship that is stopping your ability to move forward and sort of perpetuating fears that are unnecessary when it comes to how your love life is progressing. Romance for you right now is destructive, sweets, not constructive. You seem to be kind of blindsiding yourself though, and only focusing on the rose-colored glasses, looking at things through rose-colored glasses, should I say. With the Knight of Swords reversed, I see delays here. I see someone forcing things to kind of stop, because we don't want to make a hasty decision. And this delay is not on a grand scheme. It's like a last minute, wait, you know? It's like, okay, the ball's rolling, everything's moving, all of a sudden, no. That's what it feels like. It's like if I were to tell everybody, okay, on Saturday, we're going to have a movie night. Everyone come over. You bring this, you bring that. I'll see you at 7. And then at 6 o'clock, I message the group chat and I say, don't come. That's what it feels like. It's either that plans were made or intentions were laid, and all of a sudden we're going, no, stop. I think this is happening in a way that we can't just kind of gloss over it and go, you know, let's just pretend that didn't happen. The Six of Swords tells me that we have to have a conversation about this. We can't just pretend that that didn't happen. But I am picking up on an element of denial here in your love life, sweets. You seem to be denying yourself or the ability for you to be able to recognize certain things happening around you and in your love life. I'm so confused. I feel like it has to do with somebody's actions with the Knight of Swords, somebody's words with the Six of Swords, what people are saying, what someone's doing. This feels like a love interest, you kind of glossing over some red flags here. You're not taking time to truly digest how this feels or what this means to you, or whether this is something you're going to accept, whether this is behavior you can accept. Some of you are fully just diving into the devil's den without realizing you're in hell. And I say that, obviously that sounds so drastic, so dramatic. It's not going to be like that for all of you, but it feels like the house is on fire and you're telling yourself everything's fine. So that Tower moment is essential. Destruction is essential, because something has to change here in order for us to realize how we can actually strengthen and evolve in the way that we need to. So you may be upgrading and focusing on your life in a particular aspect and thinking that that's how it's going to evolve. But I see Spirit forcing some evolution in other ways here. I see Spirit kind of highlighting some pretty heavy energy to you and making it kind of self-destruct in order for you to realize how you actually need to be focusing and evolving right now, what conversations you actually need to be having right now in order to move forward. I do see a separation here. I see a conflict potentially, a real kind of clash of energy with Temperance reversed. And I think that that is ultimately what leads to you recognizing what you need energetically right now. That Four of Wands is ironically talking about celebration and kind of harmony, feeling at peace, but it just feels like we're lying to ourselves, because everything else is telling me this house is on fire. So I don't know what to believe with you, Scorpio. I think that the truth of the situation is that obviously you should follow your compassionate feelings and your joyful feelings, and absolutely you're going to evolve. Your past is catching up to you now, though. The things that you've been glossing over and trying to disconnect from are really catching up to you now. And I think with Vivacious here, this energy is so attention grabbing. The truth is really just going to have you to the point where you cannot avoid it. But that being said, all of this delay is giving you, or all of this sort of confronting energy is giving you the opportunity to let things catch up to you and to let things sort of boil over, essentially. And I mean essentially, like this had to happen. We had to let that pot boil over because there was too much in there to begin with. We had to kind of go to boil in order to let it simmer to a more reasonable level. I'm using so many metaphors for you, but I just don't know how else to describe this energy. And it's very unsettling because there seems to be a lot of pressure in your love life that could be from external concerns or stresses in other aspects of your life, and you just kind of are looking at your love life like, please let this be the one thing that is stable and consistent and that I don't have to worry about. But I do see you needing to worry about some of these things because you trying to be blind is avoiding some pretty big opportunities to heal and move forward more effectively, more cohesively. So I think that addresses the past issue, but I will just quickly ask about it. What is this past issue with Scorpio here? What's coming up with that reconnect? Six of Wands, Ace of Wands, a false start. Some of you could have been dealing with someone in the past who just never got the ball rolling with you, sweets. I'm seeing a really undecided sort of still energy of healing and resting. Some of you are looking back at simpler times and wondering if you can go back to that because you feel that that may be less chaotic and confusing, while others of you are thinking back to a time where you really had the attention of somebody that made you feel good about yourself, made you really sort of feel gassed up, but they didn't kind of take things off the ground with you. The ball never got rolling. I think others of you are just looking back at your successes, at your false starts. You're just kind of in a reflective energy here in general. And what is happening in your love life in the month ahead is kind of forcing you to be reflective and to consider times that made you feel great, as well as times that made you learn. So I really do think that the whole idea here for you is we got to start paying more attention, because Spirit is putting some pretty big roadblocks up for you. And then if you ignore those roadblocks, then you're going to be met with a level of destruction here in order for you to appreciate how things actually should be healthily moving forward for yourself. So interesting message, Scorpio. Let's have a look at your main challenge, although I feel like some of that info already came out. What is Scorpio's main challenge? You are one of those signs that should be able to self-destruct gracefully, and yet you're denying yourself that ability in the month ahead. Although I do want to say that those destructive cards were upright, so when they do happen, you handle it so well. You handle that chaos, that change, that destruction so well, and yet you kind of really kind of do everything you can to stop it from happening. But once it happens, you're like, I got it. I can deal with it. It's like nothing. It's like air. I breathe it. It's natural. I can do this. So it's so bizarre to me. It's like you're forcing something to happen here that shouldn't be happening. We have the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles coming out for you in the reverse as your challenge. Honestly, your challenge here is to stay grounded to reality, staying grounded. I think that when it comes to your love life, some of you are either over-romanticizing somebody or their actions, or you're over-romanticizing a situation that you've gotten yourself into, and you're having a hard time dealing with it realistically. That Four of Pentacles is frugal in the upright, and it's almost like a hoarding energy, but it's also an energy that is very aware of what it has, and it's afraid of losing what it has. In the reverse, it's like you're not dealing with facts here. You're not being practical, you're not being logical, you're not being realistic. You're kind of just hands off. It's not my problem, but it is. It is. It's all happening for you. And the fact that you've become so removed to it is what is going to be a main challenge for you, because it's going to come back and really kind of bite you, sweets. All right, let's have a look at your main opportunity in love now. I like to get the sort of band-aid part out of the way. Now that that's ripped off, let's put the ointment on. What is Scorpio's main opportunity in love in the month ahead? We have the Seven of Wands reversed with the Hermit reversed. Okay. Let me just see how I feel about this first. What is my feeling telling me, Spirit? The Hermit reversed and the Seven of Wands as an opportunity. It's like you don't need to keep fighting like this. The Seven of Wands can be a card of adversity, feeling like you need to prove yourself, feeling like you have to kind of showcase your abilities and almost in an underdog spirit, fight for what you deserve. So when that card's reversed, it's like, hey, there's no more battle. We don't need to do that anymore. So some of you could be experiencing sudden, unexpected change in the month ahead that is actually a huge load off the situation. I do feel like there's a cancellation of some sorts, or somebody's pumping the brakes here, and it's a huge load off. It's an opportunity to kind of catch your breath and consider, you know, what else you could invest your energy into, basically. With that Hermit reversed as an opportunity, I kind of feel like some of the things we've been stewing over, or some of the wisdom we have about ourselves and about how well we focus and or function as an individual, is going to be helpful, and that we have either the opportunity to use that wisdom, or we have the opportunity to kind of talk about our advice or our guidance with others. It's either you're giving advice to someone that makes you look back at yourself and go, wow, I should be kind of practicing what I preach, or through helping somebody else, you ultimately are able to better digest what it is that you need to do. It's an interesting feeling, that Hermit reversed. It's like the pupil becomes the teacher, if that makes sense. You're out of your introspective mode, you're out of your sort of guidance mode, and you're needing to get out there and share what you know. Can I clarify that Hermit? Is there anything else I've missed for Scorpio? They're showing me the Seven of Swords. Yeah, it does come back to facing reality and seeing things for what they are, calling out shady behavior, calling it out for what it is, an opportunity to kind of get out of this meek, demure, maybe rested, introspective mode and start spewing the guidance that you've become aware of while you've been wisening and leveling up. You're so much more capable, and I think that whoever you're dealing with is underestimating what you know and how well you communicate what you know as well. So what is the overall advice for Scorpio's love life in the month ahead? This was about as messy as my dinner last night, this reading. Holy heck. We have the Ten of Swords reversed with the Hierophant upright. Okay. Goodness me. Your advice as you close this reading is to kind of, well, with that Ten of Swords, we don't need to cause further pain. We can let this cycle end and we can address these things and finally kind of pull that sword out of our back, that feeling of betrayal or that feeling of heaviness and burden away by talking about things and seeing them for what they are. Your advice here is to be honest, first of all, to not gloss around information and to be very honest about what you see and about how you speak about what you see and what you know. And your second bit of advice with the Ten of Swords is that ultimately your lack of action or your sense of denial here is also betraying yourself. You're not necessarily betraying anybody else any more than you are betraying yourself here by not allowing a difficult thing to end and this destructive situation to happen. You have to kind of let this happen so that this burdening information can finally come to light. The other thing about all of this is with that Hierophant here, it's almost like you need to kind of stick to what you know. That Hierophant is saying that there's a level of wisdom you possess about this situation and how this thing will unfold. Your love life is something that deserves the best, and you've been through enough to know when something doesn't fit that mold. So stick to what you know and call it out for what it is. I think that Hierophant is really asking for you to commit yourself to this sort of crusade and to be honest as you can as this evolution inevitably happens. That's what it kind of feels like. That's what I'm picking up from. The only other thing with that Hierophant for you is don't be afraid to get advice from people you trust, maybe a professional, someone who can really help you get your head, your thoughts together so that you can communicate what you need to effectively to end this difficult cycle, to rip it off like a band-aid and to get to that harmonious feeling. For some of you, this does feel like an inevitable separation, that you are communicating with compassion in order to chase your joy, to be able to evolve individually, disconnecting and embracing your vivacious energy. It could be that that's how this plays out for you, Scorpio. I hope that was helpful. It was a very messy reading. So many themes, so many scenarios. Take what resonates. Do not force anything unnecessary to fit. Have a wonderful, prosperous month ahead. You are the queen/king of destruction. If anybody can do this gracefully, it is you, Scorpio. I believe in you. I hope to see you in another video. If you feel this reading was a hit or a miss, let's say it was a miss, you may have messages in your moon or your Venus sign. If you feel it was a hit, I'd be very curious to know how it plays out if you're comfortable sharing, because it was a whole lot of a mess for me. So have a wonderful month ahead, and I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye.